What's the first word or feeling that comes to mind when you hear the word period or menstruation?
Discomfort and discomfort. Like, you know that rainbow yaga SpongeBob imagination. Yeah, but discomfort and there's blood.
So like a blood rainbow.
A blood rainbow.
Like instead of the clouds,
It's like yay,
blood.
womanhood, but it's
Period.
menstrual cycle.
Exactly.
That's right.
What's the first word or feeling that comes to mind when you hear the word period or menstruation?
Pain.
Pain is suffering.
The first word that comes to mind is womanhood. It's one of the life milestones that show that you're growing as a female.
So at first I was really scared of them. I didn't know anything about it, and I was really disgusted, like, oh no, we don't do that here. But recently I've been really taking it in, and it's just lovely. Cleansing. I just cleanse. It's a cleanse. Yes.
What's the first word or feeling that comes to mind when you hear the word period or menstruation?
Discomfort and discomfort. Like, you know that rainbow yaga SpongeBob imagination. Yeah, but discomfort and there's blood.
So like a blood rainbow.
A blood rainbow.
Like instead of the clouds,
It's like yay,
blood.
womanhood, but it's
unpleasant.
What relationship do you have with your periods?
I mean, it's like friends that have known each other for a very long time, but we clash, but we still love each other.
Wow, you love each other?
Yeah, because Oksala, you're like, you're gonna be there for most of my life, so it is what it is. I have to make preparations for you and accommodate you.
I think 10-year-old Candace felt terrified, afraid. 26-year-old Candace, empowered, educated, confident, purely because of the work that I do and purely because of, I think, the lives that we come across to sort of impact and educate around menstrual education. So yeah, two different things, but I think currently very confident, empowered. At times I feel very confused because the symptoms can be it's an extreme sport, like it's kind of like bullying, but either way, overall I feel very positive about my period.
I think dirty and smelly.
That's what you think?
Yep.
So what relationship do you have with your periods?
Growing up, I was taught that your periods are dirty, something like you should always clean. We were told to clean ourselves, bath 3 times a day. So in the morning bath, in the afternoons come back and shower, and then bath at night again. Odor was a big issue for my family, so yeah, they tried to eradicate that. So menstruation always came with a sense of feeling dirty. Yeah. Right. It's it's such an empowering thing to be on your period, but hey, yeah.
Who was the first person who told you about periods, and did they tell you before or after your period?
My mother, and she told me before.
What did she say what did she say when she told you about your periods?
She told me that I'm gonna have period pains, and the first day that I get my periods, I should just stay calm and take my pad, go to the bathroom and just put it on.
So do you think when you got your periods you were ready?
Yes, I was ready.
My mother assumed I started my period before I did, so she told me everything that I, how to use a pad and what to do to clean up and whatnot, long before I started my period. So when I did, I wasn't even scared. As I've heard stories from people, I was so terrified. I was shocked to see blood, but I wasn't. I never had that.
No! Can I tell you something? I knew nothing about periods. When I went on my periods, I didn't know anything about it. I showed my mom was like, oh, okay.
My cousin, my older cousin, who I was visiting in Eastern Cape, told me, he was like, yeah, no, girl, how are you wearing your pad? Because it was just not making a sense. So she told me, no, this is what happens and everything. And I'm like, oh, okay, now I understand. And I hate you, Eve. But yeah, she told me. She told me.
Did she explain everything properly to you? Did she just say, you bleed?
Yeah, she said you bleed. And then in grade 10, that's when I learned, the textbook, the real thing, yeah.
Yo, guys, the internet, hey? I don't want to lie. I didn't have the growing up talk with my mom. I didn't have the birds and the bees. This is going to happen to your body. Kind of just happened and I had to figure it out along the way. So yeah, mostly like what I knew about my period, when I got my period, I learned in class in life orientation, or I learned on the internet, on Tumblr. Shout out to Tumblr.
Really?
Yeah.
Honestly, I think the first time I got like a real proper chat was my auntie that I used to live with when I was younger. When I first got my period, she's the one who explained what it was. Otherwise, honestly, I just didn't know. I thought pads were nappies for adults.
It was my mom. And what had happened was, obviously, I came back home from school. I saw this period day and I'm like, oh my gosh. I hid in my room, waited till she got back home from work, and I told her I'm bleeding, and I think she could tell that, like, yeah, no, this is happening. For me, the conversation felt like I was in trouble. I think parents do this thing where, like, you sit your child across from the couch and then you're going to tell them that, look, what you did, breaking the Tupperware or breaking the TV was wrong. But in this case, it was just more like, you've started your period. What it means is that every month you'll bleed, and this is what you're going to use for the rest of your life or until you turn at this age. If you are experiencing pain, here's painkillers, and yeah, keep it to yourself. That's basically it. I really felt like I was the only one at the time who was going through this, so I felt very isolated, only to have found out like much later on that no, this happens to a lot of people, and again, I still felt terrified around talking to my friends about it. And I think it was only when I turned 21, 22 that I felt confident in having these conversations openly. So yeah, I think I had a very interesting chat, but it made me feel like I was in trouble for growing up, and that shouldn't be the case.
So you didn't even talk about it like with your friends at school?
Nothing, not a single thing. Even in high school, like, like your blazers have that like inner blazer pocket inside. That's where I put all my pads. When I was experiencing like really intense period symptoms, I'd always just tell my mom to write a sick note to say I'm feeling very sick. I wouldn't actually say it's my period. I just didn't want to let anyone know, because to me it felt like it's something that I should feel embarrassed over, when in fact I shouldn't have. But like I felt I shouldn't speak to anyone about it. When I think about it, even with my high school friends, when I chat to them today, I'm like, why don't we talk about our periods? And they're like, listen, we just put it at the back of our head and we just keep it moving, and that shouldn't be the case, So yeah, not in primary school friends, not high school friends, no one actually. Yeah. Hectic, tense.
Oh my goodness. It was I call her my step grandmother. She told me the first thing was, when I got my period, is stay away from boys, because if you like in close proximity to them, if they touch you, you can fall pregnant. And if you don't want a baby, then you should just like stay away from boys. Don't chill with them if you're like on your period. And then like the bath 3 times a day thing.
Don't touch them.
Don't touch them. Don't let them touch you. You'll fall pregnant. Yeah.
Oh my god. Please share your first period story.
So it was a school day and I woke up in the morning and I was getting ready and I saw blood on my panty. And I told my mother, and she told me to get ready, and then she told me to put on a pad, and then she just reminded me everything that she told me before I got my period. She reminded me how to put on a pad, and just if I have period pains, I should take painkillers.
Oh, I was 12 years old in grade 6.
And then where were you when it started?
I was at home. But I was ashamed. I was afraid to tell her that it already started. So I told her at the end of the year of grade 7.
So how did you get pads? My dad didn't tell her.
I took my sister's. But I think she knew.
Why were you ashamed to tell her if she already told you everything you needed to know?
I don't know. Hey, like you. I don't know. Something about it. Yeah, I was ashamed to talk about it.
Just an awkward conversation.
Yes.
So I was at home. My friend was visiting me. I was supposed to go to her house, but God saw that no, baby. God said no, baby. So I was at home. It was Women's Day. How unique! Like my story is so nice. It's so nice. It was Women's Day. I felt something is going on. So I went to the bathroom, looked at my underwear, and I said, "Oh, oh." What is this? Guys, I literally ran to my mom and I literally accused her. I was like, what is this? Yinle, what is this? And then she was like, oh, I'm done now. Yeah, and then she's like, no, take a pad and do that. Yeah, I mean.
Did she teach you how to put the pad on?
I had to look at the picture. Like, the picture that... the picture. And then my friend was actually excited more than I was because she knows about it. And I was just like...
Kanti, why didn't your chummy tell you?
Dude, we're in grade 4. What? We're talking about what? Bread. No, masala. Oh, baby. Yeah. No. I was very, young, guys. So please. I was busy playing Zigzag Gwara Gwara. And then I was shocked. I didn't know what was happening.
Some people say they think that they were dying. They were like, how? This is it.
I had no words, guys. I just saw blood. I ran to my mom. I said, what is this? You owe me an explanation. What is this? And she's like, yeah, she spoke to me and then I had to take the pad and then I looked at the picture and I was like, okay, cool. Let's go. I got it.
I literally remember the first period I got and it was a horrific experience for me because I went to the bathroom, I was feeling like this discomfort in my stomach. I wasn't understanding what's cooking oil. And then I went to the bathroom, I took down my underwear, the massacre in my pants. And I remember the setup was that the bathroom door, I have this habit, or I used to have this habit where I'd go to the bathroom without closing the door and my mom was ironing very close to the bathroom door. So when I was in the bathroom, obviously I screamed because why am I bleeding? And then I called her and she laughed at me. She literally laughed at me because she laughed at my reaction. And then she just brought me pads and she showed me how to use them and that was it. We didn't actually have a conversation about it, nothing. That was it.
So she didn't say, oh, it's gonna come again,
I knew it was gonna come again because I learned at school. But having a one-on-one conversation with someone personal in my life telling me that this is gonna happen, you might feel this and it's normal to... No, none of that. None of it. It's pretty sad now that I think about it, but it is what it is.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, when I first got my period, I was in grade 6. Yes, I was in grade 6. And it's crazy, but it was my friends and I had recently just bought a whole bunch of underwear. And that included 1 or 2 pairs of G-strings. It was very new to me, so I thought, let me try it out. That first day, I got my period, bro. So that was just crazy. We were in church and I just didn't feel good. So I went to the bathroom and when I checked, oh my gosh, I have blood in my panty. So I told one of my friends who was a bit older than me and she was like, this is your period. But I didn't really know what it was. I didn't actually put anything there, but it wasn't that, my flow wasn't heavy. So only when I got home and told my auntie, the helper that lived with me, because she lived with us, she was the one who explained everything and she gave me a pad and she told me not to touch boys.
I don't recall it much. What I do remember is her 2 daughters, they're older than me. They gave me those pads without the wings before they started implementing wings as a mandatory thing. So I had these wingless pads, and on my first and second day, I was embarrassed. And naturally, of course, it was just a debacle. I had to go ask for a jersey to wrap myself around at school. Had to ask for extra pads at the office. Luckily, they were willing to give. So yeah, that was like my first experience. I made sure I was packing afterwards. Bought my own shit. Yeah.
One of your kids comes to you and it's their first time having their periods. What would you say?
I mean, I talk them through it. Like, I know it sucks right now because who wants blood in their pants? Nobody.
Especially not when they're at school.
Exactly. Like, I think I would first off start by like getting their things, taking them to a comfortable place and actually talking to them like, hey, I know you learned about this in your textbooks and stuff, and your allo teacher might have said this and this and this, but it's okay to feel like you just want to switch off for the day, because I won't lie, day one of your period, guys, is the worst day in the world. And I think, yeah, like young girls just need a space to feel safe with their periods, you know, like not feeling ashamed to go ask the teacher like, hey, I actually need to go and change my pad right now. So making sure that I make them aware that it's okay to go and ask and be honest, like, hey, I'm on my period right now, I'm not feeling too great, I'm feeling a bit nauseous, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that, so that you can communicate and get the help that you need from the people that care about you, you know?
Teacher no more.
Yeah, woman, get your back, guy. My rata purr, ne?
It's the show, you know.
On
It's Brandon and
that's on
period.
menstrual cycle.
Exactly.
That's right.